Hi. Hello, shalom. My name is Haley Buckle, and my jawline is weaker than my resume. But today we're going to be talking about somebody with a very special, defined jawline, King Charles II of Spain. He was a member of the Habsburg dynasty, a long line of inbred kings and queens with a deliciously thick chin. So let's get started. So King Charles II of Spain was born November 6, 1661 to King Philip IV and Queen Mariana of Austria. He was the only surviving son of the two Habsburgs. And Charles was incredibly inbred. I mean, like really inbred. When he was born, the prince was described as extremely weak, with 2 sores on his cheeks and a head full of scabs. There was also a mention of some kind of drainage under his right ear where like pus or some kind of liquid just would ooze out. He also, of course, had the famous Habsburg jaw, which came with a severe underbite. His was so intense that he couldn't even close his mouth for eating. He couldn't even speak until the age of 4 or walk until 8. On top of that, he had tons of diseases such as measles, rubella, and smallpox. His nickname was El Hechizado, which loosely translated to the bewitched. Not to mention, Charles was exorcised multiple times by multiple different people. But despite his mental and physical disabilities, he managed to take over the throne in 1665 following his father's death. So he would be around 3 or 4 years old when that happened. But because of all these problems and his age, of course, his mother served as his regent for 10 years. So later on, he marries his first wife, Marie Louise of Orleans. Some people say that she thought he was disgusting, while others claim that it was a happy marriage. To give you an idea, paintings of Charles didn't even begin to show the extent of his disabilities. Whenever painters were commissioned, they were told to depict a healthy, young-looking man instead of what Charles was. Charles was so sick that he couldn't even attend his own wedding. Instead, Louis Armand I, a cousin of Marie Louise, came and stood in his place. Charles was also very sterile and was never able to have an heir to the throne. Marie Louise not only dealt with the issues of her husband, but also his court. Since she was not a Habsburg by blood, that led to some problems that may or may not have contributed to her untimely passing. So one day, Marie Louise went horseback riding. She later complained of stomach pain and then died that night. Many people speculated that she had been poisoned, presumably by Charles's mother. However, modern scientists believe that she simply died of appendicitis. A few weeks later, Charles marries a second wife, Marie Anne of Neuburg. And of course, she wasn't able to give him any children as well because of his sterility. By the time Charles was in his 30s, he was beginning to go bald. People said he looked elderly, and he was also having hallucinations. To make matters worse, Charles had a half-brother, John of Austria the Younger, that many people believed was the actual legitimate heir, not Charles. John of Austria was actually quite popular in Spain, seeing as he was a decorated military figure and the king's half-brother. So John, being the leader that he is, ousts Mariana, who had been serving as the regent to Charles in 1677, and initiates a coup against the king to obtain the throne. Then 2 years later, John is poisoned. Then our good old boy Charles dies in the year 1700. He was 37 years old, just 5 days before his 38th birthday. According to examiners, there wasn't a single drop of blood in his body. His heart was the size of a peppercorn, his lungs were corroded, his intestines were tangled and gangrenous, and his head was full of water. Not to mention, he had a single testicle that was black and shriveled. Because he had no children, his death caused a 12-year war in Europe known as the War of Spanish Succession. There was so much uncertainty and fighting over the crown following his death. Ultimately, it was given to Philip V, the son of Charles's sister. And that is the story of King Charles II of Spain. And here we have a really ugly looking pile of churros. I mean, I tried. The whole piping bag thing, I think, is where I went wrong. Did not have that. Tried to use a plastic bag, and I made a pile of little dog turds. but let's see how it tastes. Cheers. It's not bad. In terms of how churro this churro is, it's not very churro, if that makes any sense. Is it good? I mean, I guess it's all right, but it's not like, it's not perfect. It's not, it doesn't achieve that level of churro-ness that I was looking for. So it's a bit of a disappointment, but I'm gonna eat it anyway. And that is it for now. If you enjoyed this, please let me know. If you did not enjoy this, please let me know. If you have any other food related videos that you want me to do, please let me know. Bye-bye.